All right, let's get it. Let's get it. I give all I have till the war is done. I give all I have till the war is done. I will not lose. Shemaine Man Hershon on Dr. Life of Alien Bedrock Nation. We live in this world. We're not of this world. This world is not our home. So recently, I just heard a guy who has a he started a league. He started a CrossFit Games. Him and his partner started a business of CrossFit Games several years ago, and I guess he feeling himself so much. Um, I guess his fan base has grown. I guess they doing good, but when people come to the public and they make statements and they say we the fittest in the world, and I don't care who's out there, we're the fittest in the world. Okay, now we about to show you fit. Now we about to take all that bread. So let me say something. In the United States of America, in the 1820s and 1830s, it's February 1st, and we're not gonna give you Black history. We're gonna give you ITB. That's in the beginning. In the beginning. All right. So first of all, our root. If you're not the root, you can't claim to be the best. You can't claim to be superior. You can't claim that if you're not the root, if you're not the bedrock, if the world hasn't been built on you and what it is you do, then you're taking credit for something. And that's why we have to respond. All right. So for 27 summers, my wife and I have been doing a fashion statement. Have been doing a fashion statement. My grandmother, Evelyn Webb, she passed away this year, right here, right here. Evelyn Webb, 1999. But my daughter, Deja, my firstborn daughter, was born in this year as well. So my firstborn son was born in 1997, and my daughter was born in 1999. And literally, my mother has been sculpting the dreams that she had for what it is and we're about to do to silence the so-called fit nation. So down in Florida, home base, right where they have their Walt Disney World of Sports, right there where they come down every year with all of the Pop Warner football, the AAU, Nike and Adidas AAU. They come down to Florida all the time. Right there in the midst. So everybody, so it's not even going to be a question. So it's not even going to be a question. Procreation. That's the in the beginning marriage couple. The in the beginning marriage couple. Everybody's pumping everything else. But my mom and dad was a part of a married couples group in Huntsville, Alabama for 4 years straight. When I tell you these me, our families are locked to this very day. And part of this economic, part of this business opportunity that's here today, there's a technological component to it. We have our own phones, we have our own tablets. And there's a husband and a wife that was in school with my mother and father the same time. And I'm telling you, they had a couples group that was out of this world. And then they had children, and my parents had us. And Now, together, these families, this one family in particular, they have a cell phone and a tablet, and they have a global network. And then we have the recreation. We have the sports league. We have the broadcast. We have the film and television studios. We have the music studios. We have the fashion studio. And my mom's dream was to put the performance arts and the finest arts together with the recreation and the family and unleash the 16 different streams of wealth that's associated with contributing to $12 trillion annually in the fitness industry. So let me break down some of the components. So my wife is an occupational therapist. And my wife has been even more of an inspiration than my mama, because my mom wasn't in the health field. My mom just bought into the lifestyle, but she was in the arts. My wife has been taking care of stroke patients since she was 8. This is what my wife does. And when my life was on the line, my wife and my son and my daughter, they both are following in their mother's footsteps in physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, all of that. So what y'all need to know is, in the global wellness economy, so those who can help people emotionally make the transition, who have been caught up in drug trafficking, there is a $652 billion industry for helping people become well. So these are all billions of hundreds of billions of dollars of people who have been injured, and to treat them and make them well. This is what my family does. We just been doing it all separately. But when we put together a league, football, basketball, I'm not going to name all of the other joints because we're not trying to have no competitors out here, but we got lined up in these cities sports and competitions that nobody is even in these things, but our people is doing them all on the regular in the hood. We just gonna make them pro level like they did with the X Games. This was my mom's dream and vision from the door. They take all of the sports that the little suburban kids like to do, and they make a Olympic game, professional Olympic, and get sponsored. And they pay them BMX, skateboarding, snowboarding, skiing, but no. Yep, it's already too late. We've done. It's done. We got the cities, we got the teams, we got everything. All we need is our people to sit as the owners of the team in your area to manage the team. And just like with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it doesn't change hands. That's your team. Just like the Eagles, just like the Dallas Cowboys. All we're doing is taking our family members and we're saying, okay, y'all have the Eagles, y'all have the Bills, y'all have the, and we're putting a team of individuals who also want to invest in their kids to play and their brothers and sisters to play, and our brothers and sisters around the country that we've already played with, our team members, they're going to sit as the investors and the co-owners. It's an ownership team that will own these teams. And we get started in the fall. We're going to have our combine Just like we do, we're gonna spend some time recruiting. You know how American Idol goes around, they hold a big old venue, all the people who want to come and audition. We're doing the same thing. We're gonna go around, we're going to put out on social media where we're going. We're looking to see the people who do that particular skill set that day or those days. We're going to watch and we're going to say, okay, yeah, the individuals who run the team in that area, they're going to be like, we want them. Boom. Go to the next city, do the same thing. Put the schedule out. Okay, y'all need to start training. Regular season starts this date in September, October, whatever. Come up with the schedule. Get the referees, get everything. Boom. Complementary alternative medicine, $198 billion. Prevention and personal medicine and public health, $534 billion. Healthy eating, nutrition, weight loss, $648 billion. Healthy eating, nutrition, and weight loss. So by us not being concerned with health and all of that, they listen, man. They have programmed y'all so that y'all will not be competitors. All I'm coming to my people is and saying, listen, them poor diets can't be that good. Because unless you're an expert in the field, you can't get that type of money if you don't know nothing about it. It has to be a lifestyle. So we're looking for some people who are willing to change their lifestyle a little bit, because these people is running their mouth talk about they the fittest on earth. And I know when I look at my peoples, I know what I see. I know what the potential is. And if this means that we're going to extend our lives out, and there's nobody in the market for people who are saying, yo, we have a all natural holistic approach to extend your life, instead of the options that they're mandating. Do you know how big that industry is? Do you know how many people out here want a Dr. CB alternative to the contagion that's going around? Do you know how many people have not taken the contagion shot who still want to vacate? Yeah, Carnival is saying you can't ride on their boat unless you unless you can demonstrate that you've taken the contagion shot. But if Tyler Perry can open up a studio and tell his people, listen, whether you've gotten stuck or not, if before you come down, here is a protocol that we all are agreeing on. And if you follow this protocol, and then when you get here, if I test you and I don't care what you got, if you follow this protocol, if you agree to our lifestyle, then come on down and we're going to get this money. And I'm telling you, we already got islands lined up. We already got the boats and planes. What y'all have to understand is you have to go from being an individual who wants a handout to being a owner. Y'all talk about freedom, land of the free. So now we're going to have to move like we are the heirs that we are. That means we don't need to get on your Carnival cruise. They build yachts. They build planes. So we're investing in a plane for each team, each franchise will have its own plane and yacht. If they want to prove that they're the most fit, can't nobody make us put nothing in our body. We are here to silence the critics. This don't have nothing to do with no CDC. Shut your little brothers up. No, we're going to shut them up. We doing it the all natural way. We know Europeans all like to do steroids and all that. But where we come from the earth. So we go to the root. We understand y'all not the root. So why would you want to outdo us? So you need every advantage we don't need no advantage. Even with your advantage, you can't compete with us. And we're going to prove it. I just need my people to understand all of y'all is doing. Listen, I'm just talking about this is just the wellness industry alone. Beauty and anti-aging. Do you know what the fountain of youth is? Let me tell y'all what the fountain of youth is. You want to extend your life? You want to look younger? Husbands, love your wives as I have loved my bride. You want fountain of youth? Husbands, that's why he calls it a groom. So we're putting together the same couples group everywhere I've gone. Plus, this is a victory lap. My pops is about to retire, right? My pops is about to retire after almost 40 years in ministry. And all my life, as he has specialized in different services that he's provided through his ministry to the community, it's not all natural that the individuals that was in my age group that could benefit from the stuff that he was giving to people in this, I just automatically created a mentoring type. I must be about my brethren and sisters keeper. And so whatever jewels that I get, I've always taken my people's. And so to the young people, family, these men have no clue about relationships. So to young ladies, if you still want to have a husband that loves you and only you, that will die for you, if you want to find a real king that has a spine and a backbone, that will love his children, raise his children. See, because that's all we saw. That's all we know. But where we come from, you got to be like our grandmothers. Both my grandmothers, the only person they was ever with was their husband. My mother. My dad told me at 7 years old, one of his greatest regrets was that he had been with somebody else, and my mom had never been with anybody else other than him. So just understand, if you're going to get a king, you got to be worthy of a king. And you can let them lie to y'all if y'all want to. You can let them tell y'all things have changed, times have changed. Listen, there is nothing new under the sun. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I am God, I change not. And his sons and daughters of God, we will never change. Train up a child in the way that they should go, so when they are old, they will not depart from it. We was trained a certain way. We train our children a certain way, and we expect. And we got an army of children, male and females, who was trained a certain way. It's called the royal court. So if you want not only to have a family, but you want to have the ability to find a king that will know how to say to you, like I said to my wife years ago, yo, you ain't never got to work. And she been working, but she been working for y'all. She been working for y'all. Because we've been, listen, my pops out here doing his thing. When one person got the ball and they hot, you feed the hot hand. He's about to retire now. So it don't make sense to be stepping all on his toes doing his thing. But yo, you better believe after he moves on to do his thing, this is the vision that my mom's had. And now we treating it like we at halftime. Pop's thing was the first half. This halftime and this transition while he do his victory lap. We're going to give him 2 years to do his victory lap and make his transition. 3 years. Then once he make his transition, then we coming out for the second half to finish and finish strong. And what we saying is, how we finishing is, we taking on all of these challenges. All of these individuals talking about they can force people to do this and they got the best this and this and that. We gonna show y'all with all of the talent around my brothers and sisters. We just gonna pull it all together. They doing a little individual micro, and now we're gonna do a macro economic umbrella all under everything and unite everything. They're gonna keep doing what they doing. But when we collectively come together and take over, listen, the greatest component towards contributing towards, there are 8 pillars and bedrock laws of health. All right. Recreation is the number 1 pillar in that. You cannot have good health without a great component of recreation. And our mindset and mentality is, if we are going to be doing something, then we have to be generating and controlling the revenue streams around whatever activity we're doing. We're no longer going to go recreate in someone else's gym and pay them. No, we're going to create our own gyms. Exclusive gyms. To make sure that we just have the best people. We don't need memberships. We don't need nobody's money. We're not thirsty. They are. Our gyms are to repair the damage done to our queens. This is the other market, yo. This is the market that nobody's in. Let me say this to these young people. Let me say this to my family. My father has done some research because he's helping. He has a couples ministry and a singles ministry. So these women, older women though, they're older. A lot of them been married for years and they having issues. But nobody until now has said, yo, there is a whole billion-dollar industry associated with intervention and rehabilitation for emotional, social, spousal abuse, verbal abuse. They always talk about makeovers on these shows. On these shows, The Biggest Loser and all of that. They always, or even in professional sports, there's a high need for when you get an injury, when You're on the field. It's very important for that injury to be treated. Or when somebody abuses drugs, it's very important. How is the abuse in drugs different than verbal and emotional abuse? How is the abuse that you take on the football field and you get a major injury, how is that different? It's no different. It's just that women are not valued in our society. So do you know what that's called, family? It's called a business opportunity. Wherever there's an opportunity to meet a need and then you solve for a need, that's called the business opportunity. We have the greatest business opportunity that will give back to our communities and our families. And women will pay. If women will pay to go and get their nails and hair done, they'll pay. When they're in a toxic relationship, about to be sick and die, they will pay to come to a place where individuals will nurse them back to health, just like you nurse the addict back to health and make them whole. We call it the Hollywood Grail Layers Club and Spa Gyms. Layers Club and Spa Gyms. We call the ladies coming into there the jewels of the Nile. The jewels of the Nile Valley. Hollywood Grail Layers Club and Spa Gyms. It's time for some R&R, rehabilitation, and restoration. How much will you pay for rehabilitation and restoration? And the couples group. That's the home for the couples group. It's called the Slumdog Havillionaires Marriage Makers. Slumdog Havillionaires. You remember the love story in the Slumdog Millionaires? Who is more battered and bruised than that young girl who was in the slums of India but fell in love with a little boy regardless of the situations? That's the women we looking for. Beverly Hills, they can keep their money. And Beverly Hillbillies, they can keep their money. This ain't for y'all. The bougie upper class want to go to the HSBCUs and want to leave all our people back. Yo, this ain't for y'all. Y'all good, right? This for our slumdog Havillionaires. You've weathered the storm and you still want the in the beginning marriage. Well, that's all I got in my circle. But you better believe, you better not come in here. You better not come into this group plan. We weed out snakes and sharks quick. So that's not even an option. Male and female. We not playing with either. We not, listen, when y'all want to play around, y'all go down to Freaknik. Y'all go down to Atlanta somewhere or wherever y'all go. But if y'all want 160% guarantee, money back guarantee, we don't let nobody in our, listen, we pulling straight from our wedding party. We pulling straight from our wedding party. That's all we deal with. It's a gold mine, family. The love that this family exudes, when people get around it, it's in fact, listen, it's life-changing. All we gonna do, we're gonna travel the world together. We're gonna rescue lives. We got a first responder. We call it the Baymac Watch and Layup Cycle Watch. The Baymac Watch, not Baywatch, Baymac Watch. First responders. We don't care where our people at. War zones, third world, Haiti, Africa. We don't care. We do not care. We coming. So this is a gold mine, family. So for all of y'all out there who want, matter of fact, in March, we have a facility up in Maine. If you want to go through a treatment that could cleanse and can reset, even if you've taken the contagion boosters, whatever, and you want to get back to where you were before you took it. If you want to go through a process to cleanse yourself and hit reset and be like, you know what, I'm having second thoughts about having this stuff in me, I want to cleanse that out. For the millions of people out there who want a in the beginning root, I'm simply taking a challenge. They said they're the fittest people on earth. Well, if you putting stuff in your body like they've been putting in their body, performance enhancing drugs, listen, them shots ain't no different. They made by the same people. The same people that make their HGH and make they Ritalin and make they make the other shots. So while they taking that, we're gonna do the opposite of whatever they doing, and we're gonna prove to y'all. And matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a biblical reference, because they can't show you themselves in the word. I could show you me and my people in the word. Daniel 1 and 2. For 3 years, I'm gonna take a group of individuals for 3 years, and I'm gonna take you straight through the book of Daniel. We're gonna do the book of Daniel challenge against these individuals who claim they're the most nutritious. This is the same challenge that the king of the world, Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king, was saying the same thing that the CDC saying right now. Only difference is they were slaves. We not. Y'all still think y'all slaves. That's why y'all running around when the Babylonian king says we can mandate y'all still think y'all Hebrews, y'all still think y'all black, y'all Africans, okay, y'all slaves. But Daniel was truly a slave, and he still said, I ain't eating that. Then the dude who was responsible, the CDC ain't got no gun to your head. Ain't no doctor come and put no gun to your head. The dude that was responsible for him, he said, listen, man, test me. 3 years they tested him. First he said, give me 10 days. He said, in 10 days, I promise you, let me do it my holistic, natural way, and you let them all take the contagion shot, and I'll guarantee you, after 10 days, I'm a feel better, I'm gonna look better, I'm gonna be wiser than all of them. Sure enough, he gave them 10 days and he could see the difference. They all took the contagion that you letting the CDC tell y'all, and now these clowns running around here talking about they the fittest on earth. Okay, we about to do them. We going as soon as I heard it come out his mouth, I said we gonna do the Daniel challenge. So any of y'all, February 22nd, we registering everybody who want to do a 90-day. Just we're gonna take 3 months, and we're gonna show them. And in the 3 months, in the 90 days, we're gonna go up to the place. We're gonna get cleansed. We're gonna put the lifestyle in with the 8 pillars of health, with the recreation, with the whatever, and then we're gonna put the economic component to it. We're gonna change your life in the four components that God said He had a plan for you. Beloved, I know that I have a plan for you. A plan to prosper you, give you hope in the future. And I wish above all things that you prosper, be in health, even as your soul prospers. So when he said be in health, he then gave 8 bedrock principles that if you follow these, that his wish for your health will be yours, no matter what anybody else. This is God saying, I wish this on you when it comes to your health. And then he gave you 8 bedrock principles. Family, This the same thing my mom gave us. It's the same thing my dad gave us. Nobody's doing this, y'all. These are the 8 principles. Stand out. Each letter coincides with a principle. I'm gonna take these eight. I'm gonna give them to y'all. We're gonna incorporate them. Everybody in the league. And then we are going to compete. And our crown jewel, listen to this, is in the Lion Pride games, is the couples and the family fit games. So they have CrossFit where you compete as an individual to show them that we so head and shoulders above where they are. We're gonna have couples compete, and then we're gonna have another separate for families, so husband and wife and their children. And we're gonna have champions in the couples, in those who are engaged, in those who are dating, and then families. We all gonna be in the ITB fit lifestyle. And I guarantee you, if you're in this league, started the minimum, everybody, $1 million. We got an entity. We're gonna do what we call renowned supernatural lending. So to make sure that y'all recruit other individuals to join the lifestyle, the bulk of the salary is going to become to turn you into a recruiter for the various team that you play for. We call it a quadruple threat. So we're going to wear at least 4 different hats. You'll have a coaching hat for the younger leagues. So you may be an adult and you may play in the pro league, but you might need to coach in my 9-year-olds league, and you're going to get paid for both. Then you might need to recruit for the college league that my son plays in. You're going to get paid for that. And then there's the whole modeling side, because we have to do the whole gamut of fashion and films to prove, because image is everything. Image is what we're judging. We're competing on image. They claim that they're the fittest. We're competing on image. So we have a calendar, and every year from December the 1st through the 21st, we're going to go through every last one of our champions and every last one of our divisions and teams and all of that. And then we're going to show the world what true fashion statement is, the Hollywood Grail fashion statement. And then we're going to show them couple after couple, family after family, that is head and shoulders above what they talking about. Cash flow clubs. So you may come in with a broken spirit, but I guarantee you, when you leave, land flowing with milk and honey. And then we're going to take you through the relationship thing. I've been collecting gems. Remember, I made a covenant in the door. I don't know if I told y'all that story. I made a covenant at 11 that if God would give me a bride, I guarantee that I don't have no out in my relationship. I'll be all in. I'll be to death do us part. I'll do whatever I gotta do. I will love her like you loved your bride, the Holy Spirit. I won't let no let me say this, ladies. Let me say this. If a man does not leave and cleave anything, he is in violation. God said, love your wife as I have loved my bride. He said, leave your mothers and fathers. And so let me say this about my father. He still hasn't seen this. If your church denomination causes you, and a lot of the women that he's dealing with are with so-called pastors, if your church denomination causes you to have a rift in your marriage, that denomination is not of God. God would not call you to a work to destroy the greatest covenant that he has ever given in creation. God would never put stress in any way, shape, or form on the greatest covenant when he said the first fruits are mine. If your spiritual organization that you attach yourself to is causing the very financial problems, not time, all of that, it ain't of God. It ain't. So we call this Have Life Coaching. And I'm a hands-on person. So instead of talking about anything, we're just gonna put these couples in position. And everywhere we've gone, we've done this. We've got couples, we done got in leagues, then we gone out in the community. And whenever we doing that, we good. Whenever we out here, we around here punching clocks and all that, that's not the motto, yo. That's not the motto. Your bread is supposed to be secure. And when you do the work of the Father, when you give him your work, he said the first fruits of your work is mine. So when you invest and you do his work, you guaranteed to have a return. So when you invested in your health, you invested in your wealth, you invested in your wives and your children, that's the 8 laws of health. You guaranteed to be wealthy, have a merry heart, fit, and you guarantee that your bride gonna be in there. So we just looking. We putting together a group. We putting together a league. It's called ITB, Hollywood Grail Games. Show you the pictures. Show you the campus. ITB, Hollywood Grail Games. In the beginning, Hollywood Grail, PRO-CREATORMADE, perfect fit. There is no comparison. If you want an option to being forced to do whatever, if you still want to have a lifestyle that's yours and that you control, this is the group to join. If you want to have access to a medical blueprint. We have it's called the Father's Freedom House. Check out the Father's Freedom House. The Father's Freedom House. Paramedic. Check it out. Now, the Father's Freedom House, paramedic, was what our people did when these same Europeans in the 60s, dang near 1970, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they don't want to service people of color. So then we got to put together our own. They got hospitals and all of that, but they don't want to treat our people in a hospital. And then they got a nerve to be talking about they're the fittest people on earth. They've been practicing racism, and nobody's calling them on it. And now they want to come and tell you, after practicing racism all of this time, now they want to tell us they can mandate how we not dying fast enough for y'all. It's no other way to look at it, family. It's no other way to look at it. Father's Freedom House in Pittsburgh. Then when we put it together, it's better than any services that they have. This tells you they are not leading. They're not leading. Everything we create. And when we create this, because we're not trying to integrate, we're not trying to do nothing with them. We listen. We just gonna create it. We're gonna eat. We're gonna exchange this bread. We're gonna grow. We're gonna go find our people in another community that wants to be free and live this lifestyle and take on the Rome's challenge. Let me also say this. The number one therapy that we need to address, the most important therapy, the most important injury that has not been addressed, that has caused you the most damage, and you cannot function without addressing this injury. The Willie Lynch theory. So there's 4 steps, since we're in what y'all like to call Black History Month. There was 4 steps leading up to Darwin's theory of evolution, where they wrote into the U.S. Constitution that you were 3/5 of human beings. But it took 4 steps to get there. And then once they had that step, then they went to Holocaust. In that order. First, they went to eugenics. Kill the babies. Once they put the theory of evolution on paper, then they started, once they had on paper that people of color were 3/5 of a human being, then they started trying to control the population by eradicating those that they had labeled 3/5 of a human being. Then, to make it look like they were targeting Europeans, so they wouldn't count how many people of color, and that's just what they did. They put a European face, made you think, made the world think that they were targeting Europeans. So who was counting how many of the people that they said is 3/5 of a human being in the Constitution? How many people was counting that? If you only looking at the Europeans, who is counting the people of color? Nobody. That's what the design was. Then that still wasn't slowing the population down enough. So then they went to Holocaust. So how did we get to there? 1717, they wrote the first theory, Willie Lynch theory. That didn't do it. Then they went and employed other people of color, meritorious manumission in Virginia around the same time. They said, okay, now we'll make you a freed man. So these are slaves. These are black indentured servants that came over from the feudalistic system in Europe. England, France, Scotland, they all had people of color who were indentured servants who came over here on boats as Europeans. That's the part of your history that does you a disservice. And these people are called blackamoors. They've been called blackamoors all throughout time. The European blackamoor has never been a friend to the rightful heirs of the United States of America, people of color. The greatest enemy to the people of color who already lived in the United States of America was the blackamoor, European blackamoor. The Portuguese are the European blackamoors. Spain was filled with the European blackamoors. And in 1497, they expelled them from Spain and Portugal. So where did they all go? In ships from Spain and Portugal, all of those European blackamoors were sent to create New Spain, New Portugal, New France, New Amsterdam, New York. And the terms of their agreement was, if you do good, we will free you, freedman. People of color, European, blackamoor. That's who sold you out. In the big house and they talk about house nigga, field nigga. The European blackamoor was the house nigga and the field nigga. They was the spy in both. It was no segment of the trade that European blackamoors didn't run it. Because the wealthy the people who had the real wealth in Europe, they stayed in Europe. They sent the riffraffs. They sent the third cousin that couldn't do nothing right. They sent prisoners of war out here. And they like, yo, if they die, they die. We send some more. If they successful, we got a new colony. They wasn't coming over here. They was sending the riffraff. Then just because they a person of color, their ancestors always been here enslaving us, all of that. And just because they're a person of color, you won't let them call themselves African American. You're like, oh, we are African Americans. It's us against the yo. The European blackamoor has done the longest slave trade ever is the Islamic slave trade that started in 300 AD. They have slaughtered so many of our people in the East, on the continent that y'all call Africa, the European blackamoor. Why did they call them a European blackamoor? Because they are the ones who does the treaties, and they are who the Europeans calls natives, Indians. Because when those Europeans interbreed with them after they get a treaty with them, various shades of offspring, we talking about from 300. By the time it's 15, 17, they've been doing slave trade all over and been interbreeding. Why? So we're gonna get this history straight too. We're gonna get this history straight, because you can't get your lifestyle straight if you don't know who you are. So for all of my people who have been suffering, your family been suffering, first you need to go through our intervention and rehabilitation just for your mental health. just for your psychological health and wellness. Because you become a weapon of mass destruction when you do not address the trauma. And then you're around here thinking that you're smart and thinking that but listen, when you have not addressed the trauma, and this is why they inflict trauma on people. It's called post-traumatic stress disorder for a reason. That they become weapons of mass destruction. Then a lot of people who have mental breaks, they end up killing people. They end up becoming mass murderers. When you do not address the trauma of years and years of trauma, and then society still telling you lies about who you are, and you're believing them, and you listen, y'all need to come. Y'all need to come vacate. Y'all need to come and let our choir sing to you. Y'all need to come and let our bands play for you. Y'all need to come and let our masseuses give you massage. Listen, ain't nobody trying to get in your pants. Ain't nobody trying to sleep with you. Listen. We tired of our babies dying because our people don't know who the heck they are. We tired of sending our people outside and y'all running around here every time when they come up with a catchy little, listen, ain't nobody protesting. They don't have any rights, any justice to give you. You have to take our land back from them. You have to do them exactly right. We're gonna do anytime they open their mouth and talk like they superior or they got some type of authority, you gotta shut them up. That's it. Anytime they talk about they investing in this and that, Elon Musk get all of his money from the federal government. The federal government print money and get this dude billions. So then you supposed to get with your family like we doing and print billions and give it to your family members and don't let Elon Musk or nobody in their family touch nothing. Elon Musk is getting all of the money that the federal government was giving NASA. Now they give it to his private company. That's not a business, man. Was NASA a business? No. Elon Musk ain't a business. And then he run around the world just like this other dude with the nutrition running around the world like he ain't done nothing. Listen. That's why not near one of y'all should be buying no Teslas or nothing. Listen, when have they come to our community and picked our community and dropped 48 billion? Do you know Barack Obama gave Elon Musk $48 billion? $48 billion. Gave this one man $48 billion. He did a photo op with some little inner city black kids, and y'all love him. He gave Goldman Sachs $500 million. He gave a bank $500 million. The same bank that said your children are going to be poor, the first generation ever, Goldman Sachs, after they got $500 billion from Barack Obama, they turned around and researched your children to see how they was going to take the rest of the money out of your children's pocket. Goldman Sachs, after getting a bailout from Barack Obama, first, they was in the round of the bailouts and too big to fail. He gave them a bailout. Then after the bailout, he gave them $500 billion more. $500 million more. Ain't put a dime in our community. Didn't put a dime in our community. All talk. That's how they do y'all. And just because they're a person of color, they can talk and talk. And then when y'all get mad, y'all going to go and stand outside. Instead of taking your children, taking out a camera, producing a magazine. I'm going to buy it regardless because my baby face on it. Instead of us all coming together, one person make the sneakers, another make the jeans, another make the shirts, another make the suits, another make the dresses, another make the wedding gowns, another do the gems and the jewelry, another do what? What? That's exactly what we doing. Another make the cars, another make the motorcycles, another make the bikes. That's exactly what we doing. Another branch of the family run the banks. Anybody need a loan, come get a loan. No interest. Got 6 years to pay it back. And if it ain't paid back in the 6th year, we wipe it clean on the 7th and we give you some parting money. You heard me. It's right there in the word of God. Anybody doing anything other than that in banking is robbing God, and they are in violation, and you're supposed to plunder them. You're supposed to take everything they got. And they all in violation. Anybody charging interest is in violation. Any institution charging interest, it is forbidden to charge us interest because we are the kings and queens. Any institution that has ever charged interest, it's called usury, all throughout the word of God. So Barack Obama gave the banking system all of that money, knowing that they charge interest and continue to charge interest. All of them are in violation. The U.S. is in violation. That's why you ain't supposed to acknowledge nothing that they doing. And it ain't until you get there that you will have wealth. The system is designed to never let the true heirs get free. You'll never get free unless you take your freedom. The system, they have no economic system unless you are in bondage. You are the livestock being exchanged. New York Livestock Exchange. You are the livestock. Livestock and bondage, stocks and bonds. They're trading livestock and bondage notes. You're the bondage note. Each one of your lives, they put a dollar value on it, and then they exchange the shares. So, over here, your marriage covenant is worth hundreds of millions. Each child is worth their weight in gold. Hundreds of millions. So if you want to cash out, we will loan you $1 million in currency that you could go straight to Bitcoin, Ethereum, cash out, convert into cash back into Ethereum. You in the day and age where they just printing money. And all our people, you sitting on the sideline, you could print your own money. We've printed our own money, and we're giving you your own bank. At the end of the day, that's who we are. We're bankers. We're going to loan our people the money to get on their feet, and then to pay back the loan, they have to find at least 1,600 people to do the same thing. Then the loan is cleared. They got 6 years to loan to 1,600 people. That's the business plan. Everybody's a banker. We give you a loan, and then we give you enough money to invest in 1,600 individuals to join the lifestyle, join the leagues. The money comes back off of the revenue from them participating in the recreation. in the fashion, in they modeling, blah, blah, blah. Listen, the money gonna come back. So loaning the million is worth it, because by the time you recruit your 1,600 over the 6 years, we in the profit. That's the business plan. That's the business plan. Banking, renowned supernatural lending. To join the lifestyle, compete against these people talking about they're the fittest people on earth, and we're competing in the marriage, kids, health, wealth. Those are the four. The marriage covenant and the first fruit blessing. That means dedicating the kids back to the same lifestyle. The kids are the requirement. You can't just come here yourself. No, the kids, listen. The only way to break the cycle is multiple generations in one swoop gotta join the lifestyle, down to your children's children. You got to commit. You and your husband, then your kids and your grandkids got to commit to the lifestyle, and everybody on the hook for the loan. The kids, the grandkids, they got to recruit, they got to play in the leagues, everybody on the hook. They got to model the clothes, all of that. You get the $1 million up front. So that means when it's time to play in the league, you got to play. But if you get injured, you get hurt, okay, you can get behind this camera. You can learn how to produce. We got 1,000 different things. So the business is a bank. That's the fundamental business. Renowned supernatural lending. And we're just like American Idol, just like Star Search. We're looking for the best and the brightest to compete against this whole other entity over here, CrossFit Games. Talk about the fittest in the world. So we're going to loan you your $1 million starting off. And if you the champion and all, of course you're not staying at $1 million. Listen, we're going to pay more than what they paying to these athletes. Well, we saying to start off 2020 right now, we start off with a loan called a renowned supernatural loan, so that the family can focus on being the best at what it is you're the best at. Then once you put up numbers and all of that, then we sit back at the table. You might be a $40 million swimmer, $50 million gymnast, $80 million boxer. We don't care what the number is. Based off the numbers and based off the, listen, you earned it. No, let's go. Our goal is 16 million. So, how do we get to 16 million? It's something like 8,000. I'll break it down later. But that's the overall business plan. All right? Let's get it.